All right, boys and girls, so today we're going to practice multiplying and dividing across the place value chart, okay? Now, I know this is your first time being in a recorded math lesson. Get used to it because you're pretty much my best behaved group of kids, okay? So you're just probably going to have to live with this every now and then. Tripp had to leave, so we're going to make sure he has the rest of the lesson that he needs, okay? The first thing I want to do is I want to think about what 1 million would look like if I'm using discs. So could I just do it like that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. So go ahead and put a disc showing 1 million. And we aren't going to do very many discs. And then show me what it looks like if I divide by 10. Do you agree? It moves over and spreads apart?
Yes.
And then when I divide by 10, and I'm going to change the color of my pen, that means I'm going to make 10 groups. And the answer to my problem is, how many are in each group?
5.
No?
1.
1. So then I would have 1 in the 100,000ths place, okay? So this is what it looked like in 4th grade. 5th grade, we'll write a 1. Are you ready?
Yes.
Draw an arrow, just like we did before. Write a 1 in the 100,000ths place. And we're going to write divided by 10. Which way do you like better?
I kind of like both.
You like both? Well, this one's more colorful, but it takes longer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, now what did I just do?
You
I
divided
did
by
1 million, and I want you to write on your place value chart because we have nowhere else to write. Divided by 10 equals 100,000. You want to abbreviate HT for 100,000? Okay. 1 million divided by 10 equals 100,000. And there's another way to say it, okay? How many are in the 100,000ths place here?
10.
So I could say 10 100,000ths equals 1 million. Write that down. And there's another way to say it. I know, there's a lot of ways. We could say that 100,000, are you ready for this? Equals 1/10 of 1 million. So instead of divided by 10, sometimes you're going to see it written as 1/10, the fraction. Now, I have a question for you. Isn't a fraction really a division problem anyway?
Yes.
Yes, it is. This means 1 divided by 10 right there. So could we use it that way to still divide by 10?
Yes.
We could. Okay? So now I think I want to skip over. Let's skip over a little bit to, let's go to the thousands place. And let's put a disc in the thousands place. And that stands for 1,000, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay? And let's divide 1,000 by 10. And you might see on Zern, it's just going to move over and spread apart. Oh yeah, exit off, right? And then dividing means we're going to make 10 groups. And how many are in each group now?
One.
1, same thing as before. But it's 1, what's the place value? 100, okay? So let's make some statements like we just did. We'll abbreviate, okay? So 1,000, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to write it here. 1, and I'm just going to call it TH. 1,000 divided by 10 equals 1, what?
100. Or 1,000.
No, 100, because we're dividing, okay? Now we're going to do it like this, where it equals, okay? So 10 hundredths equals 1, what? 1,000. Who thinks they can say the next statement?
Boy.
Trey, you want to give it a try? So you're going to go 1 of this place value.
So 100 equal
1/10
1/10
of 1,000. You understand my abbreviations?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what does that look like in 5th grade? Well, pretty simple. 1,000 divided by 10 equals 100. Okay. Now let's skip over to the ones place. And let's forget this 4th grade way of dots. Let's do it the 5th grade way. So put a 1 in the ones place. And let's divide that by 10. Ruby, can I get you to close the door for me, please? Okay, so 1 divided by 10 equals what? And let's write standard form here. Equals 1/10. Anybody remember how to write 1/10? Don't worry, it's right in front of you. Except I forgot the 0 in front, didn't I? Okay, so 1 divided by 10 equals 1/10. Wait a minute. Can I divide a small number by a large number?
No.
Not before now.
Yeah.
Can I now that I know decimal place value?
Yes.
Absolutely I can. Okay, so let's write these statements again. 1, and we're going to have to do it like this. 1 equals 10 tenths. And you're going to have to write that one out. And 1 equals, uh-oh, I did it wrong. 1/10 equals 1/10 equals, this one sounds funny, 1/10 of 1/1. Does that make sense? Not really. We'll do the next one and it will make more sense. Okay, I'm going to change the color so you can see what I'm writing now. I'm going to write in blue now, okay?
Yay.
All right.
Miss Lynn,
So yes?
I accidentally did it on the next page.
Well, just turn it over to the back and just start writing there. Okay, actually I have extra copies, so when we get to the other pages, I'll just give you an extra copy, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's take 1/10 and let's divide it by 10. So 1/10 divided by 10 equals, what do you think it equals? 1,
0, 0, I mean,
It's going to be right here, isn't it? In the
Yes.
hundredths place. But how do we write it? What did I forget? The 0 in front? So 0.01. 1/10 divided by 10, can't even see that, can we? Equals 100th. Everybody say that with me. 1/10 divided by 10 equals 100. Okay, so now let's write this. 1/10 equals 10 hundredths. This is how you can abbreviate hundredths. HUND, and then just put a THS. So 1/10 equals 10 hundredths. Right?
Yes.
You visualizing those dots, and then we circled them.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do 100th with an abbreviation equals 1/10 of, oh, this is funny, 1/10.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're going to divide again. So I'm going to change the color of my pen. If I take 100th and divide it by 10, what do I get? One what? 1,000. Right up here. Okay? So if I have 100th, which looks like this, divided by 10, that gives me 1,000. And that's new for you, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, you didn't talk about thousandths last year. Okay? So let's just say 100 equals 10 thousandths. And you can abbreviate that also. See how I wrote it? That way you can make it a little shorter. We all know we need to write out the word thousand and put a THS on the end, don't we? So then let's not write it every time. And 1,000 is 1/10 of 100. So now that we have that established, let's try and do some problems with this sort of math, okay? So now you're going to turn back to the page, and I think it has, starts with 4/10. See it right here, starts with 4/10. Okay? And I notice that my place value chart is lacking something. What do I need to put on my place value chart? Go ahead and tell me.
Decimals.
The decimals. Let's start with the decimals. Now this is, you need to watch, because you're going to do it this way every time. You're going to start on the right side, cheat sheet, there's an R, and go 1, 2, 3, and then place your decimal. And just place it all the way down. And then we're going to label this in a quick, easy way. Are you ready for this? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths, And then ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. And we won't label them every time, but for this first one we're going to. Now I notice this is unit form. We're mixing a number with a word. Remember unit form? I think I talked to you about it yesterday a little bit, or maybe the day before. So 4/10 times 10 is our problem. So I'm going to start, and you know, I had to look at my teacher book because I was like, oh gosh, I hope they're not going to make us write 4 dots. It's our lucky day. We just get to write a 4 in the tens place. Okay? And if I'm going to multiply that times 10, that's the opposite of division, and we were just dividing, right? So which way do you think I'll move my digits?
Left.
Left. So I'm going to move the 4 to the ones place. And on top of the arrow this time, what do you think I write?
Plus
Times 10. Times 10.
Oh, times.
Yeah, times 10. Okay? And so my answer is, and I have to write my answer in unit form because we started in unit form. So what's my answer?
41s. Or
Say
4 ones.
4 ones.
Oops.
Okay? And this is kind of nice because we're just going to keep going down. So now I've got 4 ones divided by 10. I mean, not divided by,
times 10.
multiply by 10.
Oh, yeah.
And that gives me 4 what? 4 tens. And then 4 tens, I sense a pattern developing here.
So do I.
Divided or multiplied by 10 gives me 4 what?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. And this one we're going to write out. If you don't have enough room, just write over your place value chart. It's not going to matter. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
And 4 hundreds divided by, multiplied by 10 equals 4 thousands. I'm going to get this one right. 4 thousands times 10, finally, gives me 4 what?
4 10,000.
4 10,000s. Okay, now, I'm just curious, what number is 4 10,000s? How can we check to see what number it is? Could we fill in with zeros here? Figure out what number it is?
Yeah, that'd work.
So what is a 4 with 4 zeros? What number is that?
4,000.
Are you
Or
sure?
10,000.
40,000.
Or yeah, oh
40,000.
goodness.
Okay.
I'm messing around.
It's all right. So what do you think about it? Pretty simple?
Yep.
Okay. So let's see what the next one is going to have us do. I'm sure it's going to get a little harder. Oh my. Now how is this different? Tell me some ways. Just one way. Raise your hand. Cooper?
Divided.
Okay, we're dividing, so we're going to the
Left. Or right.
right. Alexis, what else is different?
Instead of just 10,
It's divided by 10, divided by 100, divided by 1,000. Okay, that's different. Diego, what else?
the place value.
The place value chart looks different, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're starting with numbers that are smaller this time. Okay, so first thing I need to do is get my decimals on there. So 1, 2, 3, write your decimals all the way down. I'm going to go up to the top and label that place value chart. Tenths, hundredths, thousands, ones, and tens. Did you get yours labeled already?
Yes, I almost have.
Okay, I noticed something else about my problems that are different than last time. Glance up to the other problems. Are we still working in unit form? No. What's this form called that's just digits? Standard form. Is 5th grade too easy for you? Standard form, everybody say it.
Standard
So
form.
there are no words, okay? So I'm going to start with the number 6. 6 goes in what place value? The ones. Okay, write the 6 in the ones place. I'm going to divide by 10. So which way am I going to move? Sit Lily's phone today. It's a good thing I'm recording. Isamar, which way am I going to move my digit?
Right.
To the right. How many place values? Just one. So I'm going to write divided by 10. And that's going to give me 6/10. Now I filled in with a 0 to help you write it. So how do you think you write 6/10? 0.6. Good. Okay. Now we're going to start with 6 ones again. And this time we're going to divide by 100. Jacob, tell me how many places you think we should move the 6.
2.
Oh my goodness, you're right. How'd you get that right?
I did.
I know, but how'd you know it?
Because there's 100.
Well, but how'd you know 100 was 2 places?
Because it's one away from the 10.
Because it's one more than the 10s?
Yes.
Okay. What else?
And that's 2 zeros.
It has 2 zeros. Do you count your zeros? Who taught you to count your zeros?
I think
Mrs.
all
Hiddle and
teachers.
Mrs. Settlemeyer, okay? So yeah, the number of zeros means the number of places I move. Now watch me do this, because there's a way to make this easier on yourself, so you need to watch, okay? All right, so I'm going to take the 6, and I'm going to hop it twice, visually, and then move it down. So hop it twice, then move it down, then draw your arrow. Draw your arrow last.
Okay.
Jacob, what will I write on top of this arrow?
Divided by 10. 100.
Divided by 100. And then in order to figure out how to write this number, what do I need to fill in with?
Zeros.
Zeros. And I made mine a different color so you could tell that I'm filling in with zeros. And, gosh, how do I say this? 6 what?
Hundreds.
6 hundredths. And I'm going to write it as
0.06.
Awesome. How you doing? Fist to 5.
This is pretty fun.
Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. We're going to start with 6 ones again, aren't we? Right.
And then barely get it, but not as much as 3.
And if you say 0,
You don't
I'm
get
going to
it.
cry. Just kidding.
I'm probably like-
Okay, so let's take a look at 6 ones divided by 1,000. So we're going to pull a stick here. Cesar, how many place values do you think I need to move?
3.
3. Which way?
Right.
Okay, watch me hop the 6. 3 zeros, 3 place values, right?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, move it down.
Here we go.
Then draw your arrow. Divided by what?
1,000.
1,000. So now we have an answer of 6, what boys and girls?
Thousands.
6 thousandths And we will write it 0.006.
006.
There we go.
6 thousandths.
I like this. This is fun.
Yeah. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
I always use my place value chart labels to help me if I don't have those memorized though. I know this is a 6, what place is it in? Thousandths. So then I call it 6 thousandths, okay? Let's start with 7/10 now. So I've got to put 7/10 on my place value chart. And what am I dividing by? 10. So Brandon, how many place values will I move? 1. Which way?
Right.
To the right. So watch me. I'm going to move the number furthest to the right first. I'm not going to move the 0 yet. So I'm going to take the 7, hop it once, move it down. Are you watching me?
Yes.
Then I'll fill in with my 0. Then I'll draw my arrow.
And then divided by 10.
And you only have to write divided by 10 on the first arrow. So the answer to this is 7
Hundreds.
7 hundredths. And I write it
07.
Very good. All right, the next one.
I got it wrong.
Well, I don't know why. Okay, let's look at the next one. Jacob, just find somewhere else to write it, maybe on that very last page. We're going to start with 7/10 again, right? 7/10. This time I'm dividing by
100.
100. So, stick. Hemina, how many place values? How many zeros on 100? 2. I'm looking at the wrong person. Okay, and which way? Left or right? Okay, so you're Hemina and you're Miranda. She's in my homeroom. I've lost my mind. Okay, watch me hop this. 1, 2, move it down. I'm just going to leave them all red. Divided by what? 100. So my answer here, going to use my place value chart to help me. 7 thousandths. And how do I write it?
0.007.
Getting the hang of this?
Yes. Oh yeah. I like
All right, let's, I'm going to go ahead and skip the next one because you can't see it on my board anyway. So let's go to the next problem. Oh, this is fun. Oh, yeah.
I love these. These are fun. I haven't done
Okay, Cesar, tell me. You didn't go to the next problem.
I know, it's because you took it off before I could.
Just turn it. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, start writing my decimals. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Okay, so get it labeled. Are you afraid I'm going to pull your stick?
Me?
So Lauren, I need to put this number 2.43 on the place value chart. Where should I put the 2? In the ones place. And then 4, 3. Now let's practice saying this, boys and girls, as soon as you get it written down. So this is 2 and, remember yesterday where we took out dollars? So $2 and, we're just going to say 2 and 43 hundredths. Okay, say it with me. 2 and 43 hundredths. Good. Okay, and I'm going to multiply it by 10. Cooper. How many place values will I move it?
2.
Multiplying it by
One,
10.
one.
1, because there's 1 0 on 10. Which way?
Left.
Okay. So I'm going to move the 2 over. I'm going to move the 4 and the 3 over. I want you to go ahead and put your pencils down and watch me. Did you notice that since I'm going left, I just started with my furthest left number? Then I'm going to draw, put your pencils down and watch me. 3 arrows, put your pencils down and watch me. And then I'm going to write times 10. Okay, go ahead and do that.
Okay. Let's see.
Now my answer is 24.3. And I want you to turn to your table group and see if you can figure out how to say that number correctly.
24 and 3 tenths.
Okay, 3 is in what place value, Ruby? What place value is 3 in? Tenths.
Tenths.
So, boys and girls, say it with me. 24 and 3 tenths. Good.
Got it.
All right, let's do the next one. We're going to start with 2 and 43 hundredths again. So Lauren said put the 2 in the ones place. And I'm going to multiply times 100. Isaac, how many places will I move?
2
2. Which way?
to the left.
Okay, put your pencils down and watch this. So the 2 for this left number will go over 2 and down 1. Wait, put your pencils down, I'm not done. Then you just fill in with a 4 and a 3. Then draw your arrows. Then write times what?
10. 100.
100. Okay, go ahead and finish that one. A lot of times if kids start to try and move the 3 first in this problem, it gets them messed up. So that's why I'm being very specific about the easiest way to do this. Now my answer is 243 decimal.
200.
Do I need to write the decimal there?
No.
No. How do you say that number?
243.
You're right. No, just 243. You're right. It seems simple, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the last one. So 2 and 43 hundredths. I'm going to multiply times 1,000 now. Diego.
Move 3 over and put the 2 on the bottom.
Okay, so watch me. 1, 2, 3. Move it down. Watch me. Then I've got a 4 and a 3. And what in the world do I do here?
0.
Add a 0 there. Okay, now watch. Now you draw your arrows. And you don't have to do anything with the 0 because we filled in. And times 1,000.
I like this.
Miguel,
He's gone.
I'm glad I'm recording for Miguel too. Diamete? 2430. How do I say that number?
2040.
Go ahead. 2,430. And I don't know if your teachers before you told you this, they probably did, but they tried to get you to stop saying and in the middle of your numbers, like
Yeah.
430. Do you know why they didn't want you to say that now?
No.
No idea.
Yeah, not really.
Why didn't they want you to say it?
Because then they would.
Because there's no decimal in 243. So what does the and stand for?
The
The decimal. So you don't want to say it unless you mean it to be the decimal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Guess who also has a bad habit of doing that? Me.
And so do I.
And pretty much everyone, okay? Do we have one more set of problems?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
we're doing great. Uh-oh. I think it was down, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. It was.
There we go.
There it is.
Okay, starting with that place value chart. 1, 2, 3 decimal. And then go ahead and label it. Ruby, I pulled your stick. Where do I put the 7 on the place value chart? You're right. So 745 goes on my place value chart. Divided by 10, Jaden. Which way do I move it?
Which one?
Which way do I move it?
Left.
For division.
Oh, right.
Right. And how many places for 10?
10.
1. So I'll start with my 5, not my 7, because it's the furthest to the right. Divided by 10. So my answer is 74.5. Let's see if we can figure out how to say that. Miranda, can you try and figure out how to say that? And,
5,000.
okay, look up. 5 what? What place value is this right here? Is it a 10 with a TH? Okay, so class, say this. 74 and 5/10. 5/10. Okay. So the next problem, 745. Would it be easier to understand if we wrote out tenths like that? If that helps you, then go ahead and do that. So you don't get tenths and hundreds and thousands mixed up, okay? So we're dividing by 100 this time. Dividing by 100. Trey, I pulled your stick. Which way do I move the digits?
Right?
To the right. How many?
2.
2. Okay, watch me. So I go 1, 2, down. Then fill in with the 4 and the 7. Then draw your arrows. What do I write on top of the arrow?
Divided by 100.
Good. Diego, 7.45. Can you figure out how to say that?
7 and 45 hundredths.
Awesome. 7 and 45 hundredths. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. 745 again. You know what's coming, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and move this one on your own and then you can check it with mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you notice that I'm only writing on the very top arrow?
Yes.
It's going to get too jumbled up if we write on all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have for my answer decimal 745. Do I need a 0 in front of that?
Yes.
Yes, I do. So I'm going to go ahead and write a 0. Now I want you to turn to your table group and see if you can figure out how to say this number. Don't say 0 and.
I think you should say it's 700. 745,000.
All right.
Say that.
So I got table 4. You guys are the lucky winners. How did you think you should say that number? I'll give you a hint. Start with the 7. You're close. She said 745, and that's right. Now, look up what place value is the last digit in? Thousands. So, class, say this for me. 745 thousands. Very good.